Hello. So today I am going to discuss with you a topic which is called as design of gantry girders. So gantry girders are supported by columns and they are used to handle and transport heavy goods, equipments, etc. Now as we will be proceeding with the discussion of gantry girder, we will also be studying about the whole assembly of which the gantry girder is a part. Now, the whole assembly is generally called as the crane runway system. Okay, and let us now proceed with it. See, this one is the whole assembly of which the gantry girder is a part. So let us now look into each and every part one by one. So this one is the crane. This one is the trolley. This one is the hook. Now the crane is supported on both sides on crane rail, and the crane rail are supported by gantry girders on both sides. The gantry girders are supported by brackets. These are the brackets. Okay, and these are the columns. So this is the overall system. Okay, now this trolley, this trolley that I am talking about, it moves in this manner, and along with it, the hook will also move in this manner. Okay, and the hook carries the load. The hook carries the load. So I just want you to just look into the diagram in a concentrated manner so that you get a proper visualization. Okay, so this is the crane, this is the trolley. Once again I am repeating, this is the trolley. Trolley is attached to the hook and hook carries the load. Okay, then the crane is supported on both sides on crane rails. Crane rails are supported on gantry girders. Gantry girders are supported on brackets, and these brackets are attached to the columns. So this is the whole system. Okay, now what is L1? L1 is the hook approach. This L1 is the hook approach. We cannot decrease L1 beyond the specified value because suppose this is a load here, and if we decrease L1, then what will happen? The load may get collided with the column. Okay, and there may be some collision. So we cannot decrease L1 beyond the specific value. Okay, so L1 will be there, it cannot be 0. Okay, we cannot decrease L1 beyond the specified value. This is for safety. Okay, and this is the trolley. Okay, please have a clear visualization. Okay, LC is the span of the crane. Okay, span of the crane, and the gap between the roof and the crane is called as the roof clearance. So try to concentrate on this diagram. Now we will go into the top view. So this is the top view. This is the crane. The crane will move in this manner. The trolley will move in this manner. The trolley has the hook. Okay, the hook here. These are the wheels of the trolley. The distance between the wheels is called as C1. These at the ends, these are the crane rails. These are the gantry girders from the top. Okay, so please try to get yourself comfortable with this whole assembly and the location of each of the parts of the assembly. Hook approach, if someone asks you what is this hook approach, as I have told you, L1, it is L1, which is the distance between the position of the hook to the center of the gantry girder. Center of the gantry girder to the position of the hook, L1. And as I have already told you that L1 cannot decrease beyond the specified value, because otherwise what will happen? The load that the trolley is carrying through the hook may collide with the column. Okay, so it is for safety reasons. So from the top view, this is the span. Okay, all right. So I hope you all have a clear understanding about it now. Let us go to the next diagram. This is the 3D diagram. Okay, if you have become comfortable with the first two diagrams, then you will find no difficulties to get yourself comfortable with this 3D diagram. Okay, this is the like the 3D diagram. So this is the trolley which is having the hook. These are the wheels of the trolley. This is moving through the crane girder. This is the crane girder. The crane girder has crane rails on both sides, and the crane rails are supported on gantry girders, which is not being able to we are not being able to see it in this diagram because of lack of space. But the thing is that the crane rails on both sides are supported on gantry girders. So I would recommend that you all please draw the diagram, all the diagrams, one after the other. Okay, so that you have no problem visualizing it and you become comfortable. Okay, so now let us talk about the important topic, which is called as the load which is there in the system. You see, this diagram is similar to this one. Okay, this is just like this has been made a little bit simpler than this one in order to properly mention the loads. Okay, so just try to visualize it, relate it to this one. Okay, relate it to this 3D diagram. So this is the crane. One second. This is the crane. Okay, so when the crane moves like this, when the crane is moving like this, the crane will exert a horizontal force, and that force is called as the surge. Okay, so when the crane is moving along, when the trolley is moving, sorry, I made a bit of a confusion maybe, but just remember this one is the trolley. Then this trolley, when it moves along this direction, sorry for the inconvenience, this trolley, when it moves in this direction, there will be a horizontal force which is developed, and that is called as the surge. Okay, so surge is the horizontal load along the crane, along the span of the crane, isn't it? Surge is going like this. It is the horizontal load along the crane. Okay, so now uh, this is the first one, and this crane also will move like this, isn't it? This crane will move like this, and the gantry girder is in which direction? The gantry girder is in this direction, right? So when the crane will move like this, the crane moves what? Parallel to the gantry girder. If you remember, if you remember this diagram, the crane is moving what? The crane moves parallel to the gantry girder. Okay, so now when the crane is moving parallel to the gantry girder, then it may stop somewhere. So when there is a stopping, then we have to apply brakes, and when brakes are applied to stop the crane, then what will happen? There will be a braking load, and this braking load will be parallel to the gantry girder. So the surge load is parallel to the crane, and braking load is parallel to the gantry girder. Okay, and these are the horizontal loads. Surge load and the braking load are the horizontal loads. And the vertical loads are what? The crab weight. Okay. Then the weight of the crane frame. Then the wheel load. Okay. So these are the vertical loads. But the main thing is that you have to be you have to be comfortable, and you have to adjust yourself with the horizontal loads. Okay, many students they get confused regarding the location and the direction of the horizontal loads. Okay, so once again I am saying, when the crab or trolley is moving like this, it will give a surge load which is parallel to the crane, first thing. Then when the crane is moving in this manner, then when it has to stop, then it will have to apply brake. Then there will be a braking load which will be parallel to the gantry girder, because the gantry girder is along this direction. Okay, so this is the concept that you have to understand. And regarding the vertical loads, there is not much difficulty. Crab weight plus hook load, obviously the hook will be somewhere here, right? Weight of the crane frame, wheel load. Okay, so I think these vertical loads are not difficult to understand. All right, so at the end there is one load which is called as impact load. Okay, so what is the main definition of impact load? You see, when we lift the load in the system using the hook, okay, and it is moved from one place to another and released at the required place, then what happens is that an impact is felt on the gantry girder. Once again, I am repeating, as the load is lifted using the hook, okay, and moved from one place to another and released at the required place, then an impact is felt on the gantry girder. and it is generally due to the sudden application of brakes, then acceleration, retardation, vibration, or maybe slip. Okay, so to account for all of these, suitable impact factors are to be applied to the loads, and this table is related to that impact allowance. Okay, so you see, for vertical force, what we have to do is, uh, for electronically operated cranes, we have to give a impact allowance of 25% of the maximum static wheel load. For hand operated cranes, 10% of the maximum static wheel load. Then for horizontal forces transverse to the rails. Transverse to the rails means this will be the what? This is for the surge load. Transverse means perpendicular to the rails. Perpendicular to the rails means parallel to the crane. And perpendicular to the rail means parallel to the crane. And parallel to the crane is surge load. So for surge load for electronically operated cranes, 10% of the weight of crab and the weight lifted on the crane. And for hand operated cranes, it is 5% of the weight of crab and the weight lifted on the crane. And the last one, horizontal force along the rails, it will be the braking load. We give an impact allowance in percentage of 5% of the static wheel loads for electronically operated and hand operated or hand operated cranes. So I think you have understood whatever has been discussed till now. So please go through it once again, and after this, in the next class, I will be doing one numerical, and parallelly we'll be discussing the other theories and concepts which are there related to the design of gantry girders. Thank you, everyone.